Hello everyone and welcome back on my YouTube channel. I'm Thomas Etschel and today I want to talk to you about a new demand gen campaign strategy that I invented and also about the new core update of demand gen campaigns that changes everything. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more of my videos, please subscribe, leave a like or a comment, whatever you want. And I would say let's jump into the first topic, the demand gen core update. This year there were some heavy updates on the demand gen algorithm that shifted the demand gen campaign away from the gold middle where it was created, the mid funnel, slightly towards the mid-low funnel. The demand gen team announced that they did a big core update. The old system looked first at contextual matching and then matched users to ads, so it was quite simple. But the new system is flipping that logic and exchanged contextual matching with a more sophisticated interest-based algorithm. It starts by identifying products or services a user is most likely to be interested in, and then it finds the best ad to show to the user. It now uses a lot of signals around the Google landscape that you can get from search and PMax to know what the user is interested in, and only when the user is interested in your product service, demand gen will be eligible to serve the ad to the user. So that's a completely new matching model for demand gen campaign, and it's also why all demand gen's setups from 6 months ago simply don't perform the same as they do today. It brings the demand gen a bit closer to the person, interest, product, creative loop that you also know from more social platforms like Meta. The demand gen campaign is a completely new campaign type than it was 6 months ago. Saying it did not work for me, I think it's not valid anymore, because you should try it now because you might have very different results. I'm not saying that you will be 100% successful, but you might get different results than 6 months ago. Exactly. The opportunity costs, they are probably too high to not test it out. We can see here, if your product data and structures are clean, you might get an extra lift from this new core update that you won't get on Meta or TikTok. Let's look at who actually benefits from this new algorithm update. In short, I would say the winners who give the system something real to work with will benefit from it. So I would say also retail and D2C brands, if they have a clean and strong product feed with strong product data, this update might work well for you because the new algorithm doesn't just choose audiences anymore and contextual matching, but it picks product services first that the user might be interested in. And if your feed is clean and clear and your collection, your product makes sense, you have rich titles with keywords inside, good images, then you will see, I think, a clear uplift in matching and accuracy also. And that might lead to a conversion efficiency for your demand gen campaign, but also in assisting search and PMax campaigns. Second, I think that advertisers with strong first-party data will also benefit from this algorithm update. So if you can feed the system with rich customer lists, for example, previous buyers, high LTV users, engaged non-buyers, and build nice lookalikes with a balanced reach, I think the model might become smarter here. I think every high quality signal makes the targeting sharper here. I would say more signal in is less waste out. And the third is advertisers who invest a lot in videos, they will also see a benefit. If you already have short form and long form assets for YouTube, for example, you will benefit. The creative rotation algorithm inside demand gen loves the choice. So if you can test 15-second story ads, a bumper 6-second ad, and it rotates efficiently, that's what the algorithm likes. And I think Google Ads is really pushing towards YouTube and short vertical video ads. So overall, this algorithm favors, I would say, structure, signal, and creative variety. If you give it all three, you will notice the demand gen campaign might start performing better, and it also gets more intelligent because the machine learning algorithm behind is made for it. So yeah, that's what you need to know about the new core update of demand gen campaigns. That was a huge one. Now let's jump into my new strategy for demand gen campaign. Let's talk about money, because every advanced advertiser eventually will ask, where does my ad spend go? Demand gen works on a mixed billing model. We have CPC billings like Discover Image Ads, Gmail Display Network that charge per click. And then we have CPM billings like YouTube Video, Discover Video, and Video Partner that charge per CPM, per cost per 1,000 impressions. CPM, cost per mil. If you're optimizing for CPC, you're paying for engagement. And if you're optimizing for CPM, you're paying for attention. And if you know, for example, from the beginning on which channel you want to advertise, or during optimizing your demand gen campaign, you saw that you just want 2 different channels or 2 different ad types to advertise on, you can get a competitive advantage if you optimize your ads towards that specific billing model. I'm gonna show you on the next slide what I mean. Let's check the strategy that we can derive if we know exactly the billing model of each demand gen ad type. For example, all CPC billing models, you need to optimize for the right engagement. We want to minimize any colder users clicking on our ad that just want to click because they are curious, but they are far away from purchasing or sending the lead form. So that's why, we want to reduce wasted clicks ad spend by, for example, first thing, pre-qualifying in our ads. So for example, we can kill curiosity clicks by putting, for example, a price up front on my creative, on my headline, on my description. For example, it starts from 299 euros. So that means that all users who are not available to pay that price will not probably click on my ad, or probably some will click, but the majority won't click. So you save a lot of money than if you just would have put your creative without any price. And since we're optimizing towards CPC billing model in demand gen campaigns, and you can also de-glamorize, for example, the CTA, instead of saying see pricing, see specs, say learn more. And the second one is we don't want to write headlines that clickbait, because we want just headlines that inform. For example, you can just keep 1 benefit of your product and 1 qualifier, but not putting 5 of the benefits and clickbait the user. You have to be honest and informative here. I think that will help you optimize towards the CPC billing mode. The third is to use images that are perfectly cropped and that reduce accidental taps, for example. I would not use any creative with curiosity thumbnails, mysterious close-ups, or whatever you can put there. I would say you should use clean crops, text safe with probably a small price badge. You can also include brand mark because they don't invite so much window shopping clicks, I would say. And the fourth is avoid wrong clicks. Put constraints, credit card required, trial with deposit, business emails only. For example, add also the time, effort, for example, 10-minute sign up, ID is needed, passport is needed, whatever. You get the point. Be smart and outgrow your competitors with this information that you have up front and your competitor might not have. Now, the same goes for CPM billing channels on demand gen. The key is to make every 1,000 impressions work harder for you, for your business, by improving visual hooks, cutting out bad placement, and improving headline clarity. The first one is win the auction with quality. So we have to drop our effective cost per mil. For example, you can recut the first 2 seconds, break patterns. You can put a rating demo, for example, in the first 3 to 6 seconds that improves the quality of your product. You can also put inside, for example, captions, because most views are muted at the end. Those are things that you can do to win more auctions with quality because your CTR will increase. The second one is to tighten who sees the impressions to reduce the wasted reach, let's call it like that. You can use channel controls. You can work a lot on your signal architecture. For example, seed your custom audiences with high-performing keywords, custom URLs, competitor, deep pages, pricing, reviews, YouTube topics, channels. All this you can put inside your signal architecture to make your audience way better and to tighten who sees your ad or not. You can also use brand suitability. For example, limited inventory, exclude all kids channels, exclude games and apps, live streams, and so on. The usual stuff, but that's really important here in the number 2. The third one, you should control frequency, because creative fatigue is obviously making your CPM more expensive and you don't get incremental conversions out of it. You should rotate your creatives on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. 20-30%, for example, of your creative can be rotated without breaking anything inside your demand gen campaign and falling back to learning phase. And the fourth one are some don'ts that you should not do when you optimize towards CPM ad formats on demand gen campaigns. Don't run 1 video per angle, because that makes your CPM higher, because we said before the algorithm is not liking that too much. Don't broaden the inventory before you broaden your signals. First, always work on the signals and also on the creative. And the last thing you do is to broaden the inventory, because that's not so good on Google Ads. Don't ignore the frequency. I think high frequency with falling view rates, that I think is a big budget waste. So yeah, don't ignore that. You obviously should see how your creatives are performing inside the demand gen campaign. So yeah, this is my strategy. This is, I would say, a really out of the box strategy that came into my mind after thinking a lot about demand gen campaigns. If you want to see more demand gen optimizations, you can get my demand gen playbook and also my demand gen script. That's on my website, thomasetchel.com. Also in the link in the description. See you in the next video. Hope you like it. Bye bye.